Nothing better, right? During this time frame, you can catch crappies on a variety of presentations, depending on where they're located. How about using floats?
This one, oh, look at the size of that crappie. Look at that. This one, you're gonna have to net for.
Trolling. Maybe jigging. Or how about flipping? Let's join Al Linder and guest Eric Anderson as they discuss a hands-on technique for catching spring slabs.
There's another good one. All right.
Oh boy, the wife and kids are gonna be happy campers tonight when we go home with this stack of fish. Hey, Eric and I are loading up on the crappies. Nice crappies, if I may add. It's spring of the year. These fish just started to come out of the deep water. In fact, there's still a lot of fish up in deep water, but we're hitting these warm, bright, sunny days like this, and the fish are just starting to hit the bank. And we're fishing a lake that is loaded. I mean loaded with shallow water bushes. You can see behind me, the bushes are all over the place, all the way down the shoreline. And we're fishing them one of the most enjoyable ways I know how. We're flipping jigs to them, and is it a fun way to catch fish? Here, oh, they're gonna taste good tonight. There he is. Look at this. Look at this sort of boys. Man, oh man, I love springtime crappie fishing. Actually, I love crappie fishing anytime, especially when I'm catching fish like this. These fish are really big. You know, the kind of fish we're catching, the size of these fish that we're getting. Look at that. Good crappies by anybody's standards. Really a nice run of fish. To fish this kind of cover the way we're fishing it takes a certain kind of equipment. Here, get him. Okay, as you can see, this cover is pretty heavy. We're fishing longer rods to flip this stuff right. We're fishing microsystem rods, quantum microsystem rods, 6-pound test XT. Pretty stout line that you can pull a crappie out of this kind of cover with. But the micro rods, the longer rod, they're 7.5 foot. And it gives you a lot of lift when you're in these spots. You get in some of these pockets and in the cover, you got the lift to pull the fish up and out. A lot of shorter rods don't work as well. The longer the rod, the better. But the water is so clear here that you can't quite get up close enough on the fish where you could take like a doodle stocking rod or a cane pole and move through. So you actually kind of flip, or it's a version of pitching for bass that we're doing. You know, you got to get a little ways away to make the fish strike. You can't sit right on top of them like this. They're a little too spooky for that. Whoa.
Al talked about rods, but it's important to remember to use the lightest jig you can get away with. Keep that drop speed slow. Let these crappies grab it. Oh, yeah. Come on out of there.
Come on out of that slab, you sucker. It's fun fishing like this because you can actually see them. You'll actually see those fish come flying out of there and hitting it. They're not on bed yet. They're just coming in. A little while they'll be bedded up. So, I mean, we're moving through a lot of water. You know, location in these reservoirs, in a lot of reservoirs with a lot of cover like this, there are certain areas they hit the bank and start on, and then they keep filtering in. Let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. In spring of the year, when crappies move from their deep water haunts into these shallow coves with cover, fish set up in predictable areas. The expansive flats from 3 to 8 foot of water seem to be the best. Bottom content is also an important factor. The banks with gravel or small rock tend to hold way more fish than banks with sand on it. One thing to remember is to focus on the most sun-exposed side of the cove. The crappies will often suspend in and around brush, soaking up the sun. You know, reading the mood of these fish is key. We first got out here, we changed presentations, going into the bushes to slow baits down. I went in with a fill float, fishing real slow with some marabou type jigs. And Eric was working behind me with a little whistler and a curly tail, a little more aggressive approach. And I mean, he had 6 fish before I could blink my eyeballs. They didn't want that thing sitting there real slow. They were aggressive, which is typical when they first hit the banks like this, so you can just cover a lot of water. But reading the mood of that bite is really key. So when you get 2 guys on the water the first time, you know, and you're trying to pulse them fish, don't be afraid to try a few different techniques. Let the fish tell you what's happening. Don't make any preconceived notion. Let them tell you what's happening.
Yeah, this one's sporty. Yeah, perfect size. There we go. Beauty. Put him in a live well, take him home, introduce him to a little Anderson family grease. Oh, dandy.
Eric, these suckers are just hauling them in. Look at that, huh? Just loading them up. I love it.
Oh, black one.
Oh, got him, Eric. Look at that. Oh, look at the size of that one. Another one. You know, Eric, I've been fishing here, with you probably darn near 4 years now, chasing these big crappies all over these Arizona lakes. And they're some of the best overall crappie fishing I've experienced. You know, we fish some of the more traditional water like Roosevelt and San Carlos, and some of the lakes that are known for a lot of crappies. But this one here that we're on now, in 2 more years, this could be the hottest lake in the state. Man, this is hot fishing.